Hi, this is John from the Garmin Marine team. Today we want to show you an incredible advancement in marine autopilot, the Garmin GHP 20. The GHP 20 incorporates several exciting new technologies that have never been seen in a marine autopilot system before. Like a brushless DC motor that's incredibly efficient and robust. A smart hydraulic pump that can be programmed to work on hydraulically steered boats, both large and small. And a new industrial design that combines the pump and the ECU into one integrated component that really simplifies the installation. Now, of course, we kept the features that made the Garmin autopilot so popular, like the patented shadow drive sensor that allows you to disengage the autopilot by simply turning the wheel without having to fight the autopilot for control. Or the incredible integration with our marine chart plotters and MFDs that allows you to easily engage the pilot from your plotter screen after you create a route. Or the ability for our autopilot to steer a customized route based on your boat's draft and height. We call it auto guidance, and it's a Garmin exclusive when you add one of Garmin's vision cards. Nope, Garmin didn't cut anything out of the new autopilot. We just made the best autopilot even better by improving the hardware, simplifying the components, and developing software that allows one autopilot to work well on many different types of boats. So let me show you some of the components of the GHP 20 that make this autopilot so special. This is the autopilot display head. This is your main interface with the autopilot and allows you to make all control inputs and menu selections. You can have up to 3 displays on the boat at convenient locations to control the autopilot at the touch of a button. Or for even more flexibility, add a wireless remote to control your autopilot from anywhere on the boat up to 45 feet away from the primary helm display. Compact and convenient, this waterproof remote has a built-in digital display and puts complete control of the GHP 20 in the palm of your hand. This is the GHP 20 CCU, or Course Computer Unit. This truly is the brains of the autopilot system, and it includes sensors to measure the boat's heading. The CCU communicates this data to the autopilot's pump to control the direction and the amount of steering correction to keep you on your intended course. The CCU also contains an extremely sensitive gyro that measures the boat's rate of turn. We use this information to help fine-tune the steering. It's one of the reasons that the Garmin autopilots do such a great job at steering an accurate course. During the sea trial of the autopilot, we will automatically steer the boat through a series of S-turns to determine the amount of rudder deflection needed to steer your boat. We call this rudder gain. The CCU will store these rudder gain settings in memory so the pilot does not have to relearn your boat every time you turn it on. Finally, the CCU is connected to and communicates with every part of the autopilot system, including the display, the hydraulic pump, the alarm, and even the chart plotter. That way, when you create a new route on your chart plotter, either manually with your Route To function or automatically with the Vision Card Guide To function, we will prompt you to ask if you want the autopilot to steer this new route. Now, if the CCU is the brains of the autopilot, then the new SmartPump must be the brawn. The SmartPump is, well, revolutionary. You see, in the past, when you wanted to purchase a hydraulic autopilot, you had to make sure you got the right size pump to fit your vessel's hydraulic system. Too big of a pump could make rudder adjustments too quickly and lead to dangerous turns. Too small of a pump, and your autopilot will be sluggish or unresponsive. The SmartPump solves all these problems by increasing or decreasing the flow rate to account for different size hydraulic systems. This allows our one SmartPump to fit most hydraulically steered boats. During the initial setup of the autopilot, we call it the dockside wizard. The system will take over the steering and drive the engines or rudders from port to starboard a few times. From that, we determine how much hydraulic flow your system needs in order for the autopilot to function properly. You see, it's just a matter of time. How much time does it take for the autopilot to turn the boat from hard over to port to hard over to starboard? Our new GHP 20 pump is able to drive the boat at a rate that is as safe as it can be without compromising performance. Talk about a smart pump. And it's not done there. The smart pump cuts installation time as it combines the ECU, or electronic control unit, and the pump into one device. Now, all of your electrical connections for the pump are mounted right on the pump itself. You don't have to worry about mounting a separate controller nearby and making additional connections. One last thing about that smart pump, it boasts a completely new design not seen before in a marine autopilot. Inside this housing is a brushless DC motor that offers increased reliability, increased efficiency, reduced noise, a longer service life as there are no brushes to wear out, and reduced electromagnetic interference. In addition, The brushless motors allow for very precise adjustments due to its electronic speed controller. This means we can very accurately control the autopilot pump and give the boat just the right amount of steering input to keep her on her course. Another part that makes the Garmin autopilot unique is this, the shadow drive. Inside this brass casing is an electronic flow control switch. This senses hydraulic fluid movement. Like when you grab the wheel to dodge a crab pot that popped up right in front of you. It disengages the autopilot to let you hand steer. You don't have to remember to hit the standby button or fight the autopilot that's trying to keep you on course. And kind of like cruise control in your car, the Garmin autopilot will automatically take back control over steering if it senses two things. One, the shadow drive senses that the wheel is no longer being manually turned, and two, the CCU's rate gyro senses that the boat is no longer turning. Once these two conditions are met, the GHP 20 will resume steering the boat automatically in a straight line. We call this heading hold. If the autopilot was driving to a waypoint or along an active route, simply select Menu and GPS steering to resume your route. Making its debut alongside the GHP 20 autopilot is Garmin's GRF10 rudder feedback. The GRF10 will track and display the rudder's position on your display so you can instantly see rudder information. Rudder position is very useful when you're maneuvering the boat in tight quarters like entering or exiting your slip. The problem with rudder feedback units in the past is they were susceptible to all kinds of marine corrosion and failure due to their design. Garmin has developed a new sensor based on the magnetic property called the Hall effect that allows us to completely seal the sensor and reduce the effects of corrosion on the sensor and increase its working life. Garmin's GHP 20 autopilot is also available in steer-by-wire versions. Steer-by-wire systems replace mechanical or hydraulic steering with electronic control. With this type of steering system, the GHP 20 autopilot connects directly to the manufacturer's electronic steering controller and commands the system to steer in response to the autopilot sensors. The GHP 24 Viking will work with the new Viper steering system, the Viking Independent Programmable Electro-Hydraulic Rudder, used on some of Viking's incredible fishing boats. The Garmin GHP 20 steer-by-wire version is compatible with the Teleflex Optimus electronic power steering system. This is a great new steering technology that works on many twin-engine boats and allows for independent control of each outboard. Be sure to check our website to see the entire list of certified steer-by-wire systems that are compatible with the GHP 20. So from the new SmartPump that allows a pilot to work on many different size boats, to the new rudder feedback sensor, to the steer-by-wire capabilities, Garmin has refined the marine autopilot to make it more efficient, more responsive, and more robust. But we kept the features you really wanted, like the shadow drive sensor that allows you to disengage the autopilot by simply turning the steering wheel, and the exclusive Guide To feature on our Vision card that allows the autopilot to drive a route based on your boat's height and draft. If you have any questions about the new GHP 20 autopilot or any of Garmin's products, check out our website at garmin.com/marine or ask any one of our authorized installing dealers. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the water.